Ringside Report Network has a new and exclusive line of clothing. First up, the Do-Jitsu Rash Guard. This isn't just gear, it's a statement. A commitment to eco-friendly battles on the mats and waves. And for those who live by the bold champion spirit, we have something special. A line for men and women designed not just for the fight, but for life. Wear our bold champion spirit of Jiu-Jitsu Rash Guard confidently. Its striking design with golden figures in combat honors the enduring spirit of competition in martial arts. Pair it with our unisex mesh shorts, the perfect combo of style, comfort, and eco-conscious design for the modern warrior. And don't forget, our Jiu-Jitsu Bold Champion Spirit leggings. This attire is expertly engineered to channel the champion spirit in every move you make. Together, it's not just about looking good. It's about feeling the part and living the Jiu-Jitsu way, both on and off the mats. Meticulously crafted for the yoga studio, the gym, and beyond, blending style, comfort, and the heart of a champion. Wear your passion, embody sustainability, and elevate your practice. Join the league of athletes who wear their values as proudly as their belts. It's more than clothing, it's a way of life. Ringside Report Network, where champions dress for success, sustainability, and the spirit of the sport.
Attention to all professional wrestling fans and followers of the legendary Johnny Genesis North. We are releasing a must-have collection of Johnny North merchandise in our store at merch.ringsidereport.net, starting with our limited edition Johnny Genesis North 3/4 sleeve t-shirt. With a unique design capturing Johnny in action, this tee exudes raw energy and intensity through its versatile 3/4 sleeves for any weather. Stand with our legendary co-host, Johnny North. Make a bold statement in the wrestling community by getting yours today, exclusively at merch.ringsidereport.net.
Get ready to amp up your betting game with Ringside Report Network's latest knockout offer. We've teamed up with our pals at Bet99.com to bring you something that will shake up the betting world. Dave's Picks with boosted odds. Here's the lowdown. Normally you see odds like -200 over at Bet99, right? Picture this. We hit up our buddies at Bet99 and worked out some magic. Suddenly those odds? They're looking a whole lot sweeter at -150. That's right, and we're all about getting you those exclusive, juiced up odds, only for the Ringside Report universe. So here's the game plan. We dish out the picks, and you keep those eyes peeled. You might see a number on Bet99, but hold up. Wait until Saturday morning rolls around. Thanks to those boosted odds we've snagged for you, those numbers will look much better. I'm all for Bet99 doing great, but let's not kid ourselves. We want to win big too. It's all in good fun, and hey, it's part of the thrill of the game. They're in on it, and we're in on it. It's all about having a blast while pocketing some extra cash. Ready to take advantage of those boosted odds? Go to the special Ringside Report Bet99 link on your screen. We're all about seeing how much we can boost the odds for you, our loyal viewers. And a huge thank you to Bet99 for their support of the Ringside Report Network.
Yes, Indeed, it is Wrestling Uncensored tonight on the show. What's next for Becky Lynch? Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay at AEW's Forbidden Door for the belt. And we will review tonight's episode of SmackDown. Yes, indeed. You know we're going to talk about SmackDown because we just saw SmackDown. What's up, Johnny?
Oh, not much, Dave. Pretty good, Dave, if you think about it. I think you saw that that I posted today, the video I posted. It's really nice when you get messages like that or videos like that. It shows you that there's a lot of good in the world.
Is this... You got to give us more context, man. You're just like... You're off the wall right off the bat. Wait, what?
You know what I'm talking about. You saw the video. You commented about it too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. I just want more context when you bring stuff up. It was your manager, Shane Pinto. Sugar Shane Pinto? Is there sugar there?
There is a sugar in there, yeah.
Ooh, Sugar Shane.
I know you like that.
You know I like the sugar as I take a sip of my Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it was a cool little story. I remember that was about a year ago or so with his grandfather.
Well, that's very cool. So he told that story on the Jofo in the Ring podcast, right?
Yep.
And he was talking about you and how his grandfather, you were his grandfather's favorite wrestler because he listened to you on the radio and he took all of his wrestling opinions, mostly from Johnny North. And then his grandson, Shane Pinto, got to become your manager. And his grandfather was very excited and he got to meet you. And he was very excited to meet his favorite wrestler, Johnny North, the Genesis, which I think is really cool. I like that you're somebody's favorite wrestler. Like, not just me, other people out there. Which I'm not surprised by. I see the people with the Genesis shirts on, But I like hearing those stories, as I'm sure you do too, right? And also that he kind of got to know you through the show. Like he heard you on the radio and maybe followed you on YouTube and everything, right? So that's cool. That's cool that you're gaining fans through Wrestling Uncensored, John.
Well, it was cool too. I remember when talking to his grandfather, he said he was a fan of yours as well, saying that he misses the show on the radio. Like he said that was always like an institution for him to always listen to the show all the time. It was like a huge hole once it was gone. But, I think he found us eventually again, but it wasn't the same though, he said. It was different.
Yeah, well, people like it on the radio, right? People like radio sometimes, right? A lot of people are accustomed to the radio. Not so much anymore, right? It's kind of, you don't really hear from people listening to the radio anymore. It's kind of nuts where radio's gone. It's a little sad. But it's like, I talk to people now and no one's listening to the radio. Strange.
Well, we kind of saw this while we were on the radio. I was telling you, we should do YouTube before YouTube became a thing. And I think we went in the right direction in the end.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think obviously you're right. But it's just weird to me how far radio has fallen, like how little it's being listened to by people. And I saw somebody today that I used to work with in the radio business, and she was telling me how bad things have become, and I was really surprised. And I know people still listen to the radio, like Angelo's still listening and stuff, and it's good. I mean, I'm happy that people are still listening, but the numbers are pretty small, and younger people are really not listening at all. It's like they don't even know what it is. It's strange.
Well, I don't know about you. I mean, I mainly just listen to podcasts every day now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's less need to listen to the radio when there are so many other options out there. Like this show, Wrestling Uncensored. And there are no commercial breaks. And we have longer conversations. And we can really dive deep into things. And we can even say bad words once in a while.
Truly uncensored.
Yeah, there's more freedom here than there is on the radio. There are still restrictions on YouTube. Like, there are still certain things that we won't say or do because we don't want to get kicked off YouTube, right? There's still censorship in a way, but it's not the same as it was on the radio. And we don't have to deal with other stuff that we had to deal with, right?
And you get to see what we look like all the time now, instead of like, I wonder what they look like.
Yes. People often imagine me bigger. When they see me in real life, they're like, you're not that big. I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know why you thought I was. I guess the voice makes me sound larger. A couple people were surprised that I was a white guy. I was like, what?
Well, I think it's because of the music that was being played back in the day. That's why.
Maybe. I don't know. It was, it's fun to, when you meet people that only have heard your voice and their impressions of you, you're like, what? No, that's not me. This is me.
See, that was another funny thing, by the way. I tweeted about the Uncle Kracker's new album coming out.
Yeah, I don't get that.
See, I'll put the reference here, because one time when you're doing Ringside Report, I requested a song that you guys would play. You didn't know about this, and you guys played the X Factor music, which was an Uncle Kracker song.
Okay.
And you were so upset. You said a lot of mean things about me too on the air.
Wow.
After that aired.
Good.
So I just remember that moment. Quite a fun moment.
I don't have any recollection of that at all.
Oh, what happened? Don't worry.
At this point, John, we've done so many shows. And I've done so many shows too, because I do all the shows with Fred and AJ and everything too, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to remember any kind of shows from the years past. Like, I don't have any recollection of stuff.
This is like 2007, I'm thinking. Yeah.
Is this pre-Fred?
Oh, yeah, definitely pre-Fred.
See, here's the thing. I have, and I don't know why this is, but I know that there were many years pre-Fred and AJ.
It happened.
And even pre-you.
Yes.
Right? Where it was just me and, other people. And then eventually you came along, and eventually Fred came along, and then AJ came along. AJ is actually the latest addition to the team, officially.
Well, technically, where does your brother fall into all of this? I mean, he's always been around in a sense, too.
I feel like he's been part of the team before the team existed.
Yeah, so that's weird.
We've been doing it since we were children, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I have no recollection or memory of any shows, really, except for a few things here and there, pre-Fred. And even after that, it's kind of like even the radio at this point feels like a distant memory. I kind of remember doing a show in a radio studio, and we did hundreds of them, but it was so long ago that this is kind of all I recall. There's been too many shows, John. It's too much time.
I look at the radio. The radio was before COVID. Now this is after COVID.
Yeah. I barely remember yesterday, though, so that's also something. Leor checking in, member of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net, as is Angelo, as is Ray Cruz. Leor says, I used to listen to you guys on TSN 690, or probably Team 990 back on Saturday night, he says, at midnight. Yeah, I remember that, those days. Like, I remember that's when we were on. I don't remember if we were on for 2 or 3 hours at that point. It might have been 3.
I think 1.
Was it just 1?
Well, for the Wrestling Uncensored was 1 after the hockey games. For Ringside, I believe you had the 2 hours on Wednesday, and then I think you had another 2 on Friday, and then you had a best of on Saturday.
Yeah.
You had like 5-6 hours of programming a week.
Yeah, we did a lot back then. But when we started, I think it was Saturday at midnight, wasn't it? For a couple hours?
Oh, it's very possible. You're thinking like 2006, I think.
Yeah. When we first got the show in 06, I think it was 2 hours at midnight on Saturday. I think. Yeah. Right?
No, I think you're right. It was either Saturday or Friday, but then it expanded to like Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
And then you turn the best of into a wrestling show.
Yeah, I made it more programming. It was supposed to be a best of, but then I was like, no, let's just give them fresh content. Why are we doing a best of? That's just how I operate. You know me. If you guys watch the show, you know we don't take time off. We're always here. We're always there. I'm always pushing out fresh content. I just feel the need to do it. Content is king, man. You got to push it out there, right?
Well, give it credit to a lot of the listeners too at the time, because they kept wanting you to talk more about wrestling. So there was a demand for it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of the kind of coverage on Wednesdays and Fridays pushed more to MMA. So there was a need to do a separate show on Saturdays for wrestling, and that's when Wrestling Uncensored began. First, it was just Ringside Report Radio, right? And then Wrestling Uncensored started on Saturdays. There you go, Leor, Wrestling Uncensored. He says, same here. I used to listen to you guys on Saturday night as well, midnight on Team 990. Damn, you guys have been around. You guys have stuck with us for a long time. We're talking about almost 20 years now at this point, guys.
Yeah, we're getting there.
That's unbelievable. I mean, we're 2024. This is 18 years we've been doing this, and you guys have stuck with us for 18 years.
Great fan base we have. Fantastic.
I get kind of emotional thinking about that.
Well, that's good.
It's amazing that you guys are still with us. I really appreciate that, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, I really do. The fact that you guys are still with us, sticking with us, enjoying the content, appreciating what we do, and supporting the channel for the past 18 years is it means a lot to me personally. It means a lot. You know? At this point, this is like my life's work, and the fact that you guys appreciate it and love it, it's nice. It's very nice. So thank you.
And we continue on and on.
Yeah. Ryan Katz says TSN 690 has Meltzer and Alvarez. They have Meltzer and Alvarez on their channel?
Well, it's not a live thing. It's like a recap kind of thing of the week or something that they do on Sundays.
Really?
Yeah.
They have a radio show? Meltzer and Alvarez? Like a syndicated thing?
They have like a syndicated thing. Exactly.
Wow.
Oh, they've been around a lot longer than us, to be honest. Like Meltzer's
of course.
been around
Meltzer's been covering the
80s.
business for like 50 years.
Yeah, like it's amazing that you see Meltzer like when he first started to now. Wow, like totally different guy almost.
You ever see Meltzer on Donahue
Of course.
with the mullet?
I
Tremendous.
just found out he was on Beyond the Mat as well. Like I didn't realize that at first. Like apparently he's in like a deleted scene.
Yeah, why wouldn't he
I
be
didn't see that.
on the mat? You know that's the first
But-
movie I took the mother of my children to, right? Beyond the Mat.
Really?
Yeah, our first date way back. I took her to the
Wow.
Eaton Center and to see a movie, Beyond the Mat. Saw the documentary in the theater. And so she knew what she was in for.
Did she like it?
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe she just liked me enough to say that she liked it. It was our first date.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome.
It's a long time ago. Longer than the show's been around, that's for sure. Quite a bit longer, which is something else. Okay. That's what
2024 now.
Huh. It's
Oh, we have more
2024.
comments.
Yeah, we can't go down memory lane forever. But I appreciate, all you guys, Angelo, Ryan Katz, Leor, Ray Cruz, and everybody else. I know a lot of people have been with us since the beginning. Andy out in England, right?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
been with us since day one. Wally. A lot of people have stuck with us since the beginning, which it's nice, It's like you don't get tired of it. You're not like, these guys, they lost it. They jumped the shark a long time ago. You guys are sticking with it, and you still like the show, obviously, because you're still watching. So that's cool. That's nice.
Oh. It's cool, you affect people, and you don't even realize it sometimes. Just by what you guys say sometimes, what we say sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, which is dangerous, because,
Well,
sometimes
I think
we say
for the
some
most
crazy
part-
stuff, John. You know what I mean.
We're
Gotta be
not as
careful.
crazy. It's crazier on Thursdays, but we're okay.
That's AJ's fault. I saw somebody said, I remember when Jimmy James says, I remember the Abdullah interview. Oh, God. Yeah, that was a mess, wasn't it? We've had some funny interviews in the past.
You know, Brett was cool. I think Mick Foley is still the best one. That's just me personally, but
yeah,
there's been some good ones.
Foley was great because he was in studio for like an hour with us just talking.
Yeah.
That was one of the better interviews I ever did, I would say. Foley. I think the one I did with Daniel Bryan on the phone was really good.
Yeah, that was good too.
I was really happy with that one.
Cody too.
Shawn Michaels, I think, was good too.
Yeah, well,
I know you hate Shawn, but I think I got good stuff out of him, you know?
You got good stuff out of Rotting Corpse. Not too bad.
Who?
Before he was Rotting Corpse. Not too bad.
Who are you talking about? Shawn Michaels?
You don't see him these days? Like, look at him what he used to be to now. Like, does he not look like a rotting corpse? Like,
that's mean to say, but he doesn't look...
it's accurate.
He's not a sexy boy anymore, that's for sure. I don't even know if he's a sexy man. I don't think there's much sexy about him. Sexy Red was on NXT. That was cool. She's like a major star. For them to get her is a big deal. It's a much bigger deal than them getting Jordan Grace or anybody else from TNA Wrestling. You know?
Well, yeah, celebrity, yes. It's a bigger deal, yes.
It's pretty good. Leor says, I remember back when AJ was Anthony. Yes.
When he called in, I guess, probably.
Yeah, you remember when he called in? I remember when AJ was just a guy that, showed up once in a while with Glenn. He was Glenn's friend.
I remember when Glenn was on the show. He used to do our Dynamite shows with us. I remember that. Those are good times.
During the pandemic when his jiu-jitsu gym had to be closed, so he didn't have anything to do. You know? Right. Now he's just training all the time because he's got a full-time jiu-jitsu gym.
There's been many different types of little situations we've had. Remember we had Phantom on a couple of times as well.
Mm-hmm. We've had many different incarnations throughout the years, John. There's a lot of things that we've done, a lot of places that we've gone, and a lot of places we will continue to go. We got UFC 302 going down tomorrow night. Big watch along tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the channel. Will Dustin Poirier finish the story? You see Cody Rhodes cut a promo for Dustin Poirier?
Yeah, I sent it to you, yeah.
Yeah, you sent that to me, right? It was good.
You liked it. I thought it was just like, like Cody doesn't really have anything to do with Dustin whatsoever, I find. Just they're trying to make a tie-in with that, with the whole he's got to finish his story too. Thing is, like, it's not like they can just write that in there and, this is the way he's going to be, but it's nice that they're trying to make a tie-in and make Cody the face of Endeavor almost in a sense.
He signed with Endeavor too for his non-wrestling work to represent him.
I guess that was non-wrestling in a sense, right? Like the UFC promotion.
I guess.
Is that going to air on the UFC pay-per-view too?
I don't know. But I just like the idea of UFC and WWE doing that kind of stuff together. Like, I don't think it was the most electric promo I've ever seen, but I like the crossover stuff. It's cool. I'm a big UFC fan. I'm a big WWE fan. Seeing those two worlds collide is fun for me. It's enjoyable. And there's a part of me that goes, having one company own UFC and WWE seems bad. But then there's another part of me that goes, well, I like WWE and I like UFC, and if they can do more stuff together, it would be cool. So is it bad? I don't know. I don't think so. As just a fan and not a guy who's concerned about the business of it all, as a fan, I love it. Because, there's opportunities there for promos, ring entrances, UFC guys doing one-off matches in WWE, WWE guys doing one-off fights in the UFC. I mean, probably not. Or, you know, a WWE guy walking a UFC guy out to the octagon. Stuff like that, I think would be cool.
Okay.
Like if Cody walked behind Dustin and with his team with the WWE Championship and a suit, it would be cool.
Yeah.
You know? I think just that type of stuff is cool. So it just makes my experience watching a UFC pay-per-view more enjoyable and more exciting if I see pro wrestlers there. It promotes pro wrestling. It promotes the WWE. It promotes the wrestlers. They get to be seen in front of a different audience, a big audience. I think it's good. I think it's, you know, it's a thing that will provide more opportunities as they present themselves. And here's an opportunity that presented itself. You've got Cody. You've got the fight. Poirier's kind of had a story similar to Cody's. I mean, they kind of made it work in the promo. And they did it. It's not a major thing, but I think it's just an indication of where they're at as far as trying to do co-promotion and work together. And they're already talking about doing weekends where it's like SmackDown on Friday in, you know, say Montreal, you know, say SmackDown on Friday, UFC pay-per-view on Saturday, WWE pay-per-view on Sunday. All in the same city. Toronto, New York, Chicago. Who knows? Multiple cities are on the table. Vegas, of course. But that's what they're talking about, which I think as a fan is cool. As a fan of both is very exciting. If I could have a weekend where I went to SmackDown, a UFC pay-per-view, and a WWE pay-per-view all in the same weekend, I would be super hyped. I would buy tickets to all of that, and I would go to all of that and enjoy myself big time. That's a killer weekend for me. That's ideal. If that happened every weekend in my hometown, I'd be pumped. I've got nothing to go to in this city. We got no baseball team. I got no tickets to buy. Give me an opportunity to buy tickets for something, to go to see things. I want to go see things. I like going to see events. There's not much in Montreal that really, you know, tickles my fancy. But that would be pretty exciting. So, you know, WWE comes to town. You know I'm there. Why wouldn't I be there? So I like that idea. I think as a fan of pro wrestling and of MMA, if you're a fan of both especially, very exciting possibilities coming up for those companies. Very exciting, John. I mean, come on. I would love that weekend. Or to travel to a city, like that makes a city a destination too. Like if I was like, say, traveling to, who knows, say Chicago or LA or something, and I wanted to go visit the city, but I'm also going because I'm going to go to the UFC pay-per-view on Saturday and the WWE pay-per-view on Sunday. Like, that's a reason to travel. And if they're starting to combine that, you know, ordinarily it's like, oh, you go to a city to see a UFC pay-per-view or a WWE pay-per-view. If I could go to a city that I've never been to before or I've been to and I'm going as a tourist, I'm enjoying, and I get to see both, dude, I would be so excited. That's the ideal vacation for me. Like, right. That's tremendous. They need to start doing that pronto. Aren't they doing something? Should I go to Louisville, Kentucky next week, John, for SmackDown on Friday and the UFC Jared Cannonier versus Nasruddin Imavov on the Saturday? Like, I'd go to Louisville, Kentucky, see what that place is like. I've never been to Louisville, Kentucky, and I have no reason to ever go, but if there's a SmackDown on Friday and a UFC on Saturday, that's a good enough reason to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it, like, because it's next week, but if I had time to plan and think about it, you know, that's the type of thing that I would do, and I'm sure a lot of people in my shoes would do the same thing.
Well, Not if it was the SmackDown that we saw tonight or the SmackDown they have planned for next week, because it doesn't look like it's that great of a show.
Yeah, I mean,
it was very underwhelming tonight.
But still, you go to the SmackDown. If the SmackDown sucks, the UFC will probably be good, and you'll be all right.
You better hope it's good, because like night one's kind of like a bummer, and then it's like, well, night two better be good.
Yeah, but you know the deal, man. It's not, even if it's not great on TV, the live experience is always kind of fun.
I have a hard time believing that one. Again, watching tonight, like, it was rough, to be honest. Like, I thought Raw again was better this week than SmackDown. Not that Raw was great, but definitely better than SmackDown.
What did you like about Raw?
Well, I think if you put Ricochet and Dragunov against each other, you're instantly going to have like the best match of the week for WWE, without question. Now, granted, the main event was not very good. I don't know about you. I just felt in the steel cage match, they just did the least they possibly could to get away with that. Like, and maybe it hurts too, because we saw that crazy steel cage match with Edge and Malachi Black. But I felt like they really didn't do much of anything besides hit each other a bunch of times, attempt escaping a couple of times, and then, we'll just hit each other, and then we're down, and then go right to a finish. They didn't do anything that was really out of the ordinary. Remember that Trish and Becky steel cage match? That was fantastic. One of the best matches we saw last year. This was nowhere close to that good.
I think they're tired.
Sadly, I think we're in that, we've talked about this before. They're in this period where you just got to wait for The Rock to come back, and we're just kind of on just standby mode almost, in a sense.
That's what we're waiting for?
I think so. Or whatever they have planned for SummerSlam. If Roman's the big return for SummerSlam instead of The Rock, but really we're just waiting for SummerSlam, I think.
I mean,
what
about Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank could be all right, John. Come on. Help me out.
Yeah, but look at what we're getting with the PLEs, though. We'll get the 2 ladder matches, and then how many other matches? We're going to get, 3 other matches? Because it really feels like they're giving us, they have this idea where less is more, but really less is less, the way I felt after watching King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay not to have like an epic saga like Double or Nothing, but 5 matches, it just wasn't enough.
It wasn't good either. It was a pretty weak show, and they didn't really follow up with anything great this week, WWE. They really didn't. And they didn't really do much or set much up. The closing promo was AJ Styles pretending he was going to retire. He had Gallows and Anderson there. They did the 2 Sweet together. They hugged, and then he asked Cody Rhodes to come out, and Cody thanked AJ and all this stuff and raised his arm, and then he was raising his arm way too many times for the crowd, and of course eventually AJ clotheslined him and then beat him up and hit the Styles Clash off the stairs onto the floor to close SmackDown. So we are on to AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes again, likely for Clash at the Castle, which takes place June the 15th in Glasgow, Scotland, which I am interested in because they have, not really for the Cody AJ match, although I think it'll be good because their match at Backlash was very good. I expect this crowd in Scotland to be very hot, and AJ and Cody will go out there and have a great match. The issue is I really don't see AJ winning, and I think the outcome is pretty obvious at this point. However, the Drew McIntyre Damian Priest match, that's a draw. That's interesting. It's Drew challenging, getting the rematch from WrestleMania. Of course, Drew beat Seth at Mania. Then Damian cashed in after CM Punk messed with Drew. And then Drew lost the belt to Priest, and now Drew is getting his rematch in his hometown. I don't know. Is he from Glasgow, Scotland, or is he from
I don't know if he's from Glasgow, but I mean, I think it's close enough. You know,
Glasgow
in his home area. You could say that. I think
he's from Ayrshire, Scotland. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but Ayrshire is where he is officially from, according to the Wikipedias. Andrew McLean Galloway the fourth. Andrew McLean Galloway the fourth. John.
he should be called that. That's a pretty good name, actually.
It is pretty damn good. Andrew McLean Galloway the fourth. Scotland. Getting my belly.
You think Cody and AJ is going to be at Clash of the Castle? I think they might hold that off until Money in the Bank, actually. Because, like you just said, Priest and Drew, that's the draw. That's going to be the main event. Why would you have Cody and AJ if it's not going to be the main event?
Because you want to have Cody on the card and he needs an opponent.
That's not a bad point. I mean, it's good to have Cody on the card, period. But, I mean, if he's not going to be the main event, I question why have him on it then. I think maybe...
Because they're doing a really big show. It's like a stadium. It's maybe not a stadium. OVO Hydro. OVO? Uh-oh. Run for your life. OVO.
What's capacity?
Capacity is... Oh, it's like 12,000.
Oh, this is not the same one we saw before.
No. This is not a big state. It's like it's not a stadium. It's an arena. So it's like a 12,000 seat arena. They'll sell it out. But yeah, I think just having Cody there, you're going to a big pay-per-view in Scotland. You want to see the big stars in WWE. They got to have a Cody match, I think.
I don't know, man. Less is less the way they're doing it. It feels like they're going to have like a world title match. Then they'll have a women's WWE title match. And then a world title match for the next show, which is Cody. I think they're doing that. They're doing like, it's kind of like a split pay-per-view kind of thing, where it's like you have one world champion from one brand, and then the other world champion for the men and women's. Like, we'll have maybe Bayley defend or Liv, but not both. I can see something like that going down.
Why?
Because less is less the way they're doing it. Like, we're only going to get like 5 matches a show. Like, they seem to love doing that. The last 2 PLEs, didn't we not get like 5 matches only? Backlash 2 had that, no?
King and Queen was a 5-match main card.
Uh-huh.
Hang on. Backlash France was a 5-match main card. Before that was WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, different.
Yeah. Elimination Chamber Australia was a 4-match main card because of the chamber matches.
And that was a stadium.
Wow. It used to be 7 matches.
It should be.
Royal Rumble was a 4-match card with 2 Rumble matches. The Rumble.
Yeah, that's fine, though.
I'm going back to Survivor Series 2023, John. That was a 5-match main card.
Well, Survivor Series 2 War Games. So, again, I understand that.
Crown Jewel 2023. Oh, okay, hold on. 7 matches.
They're back to normal.
That's 7 matches. Crown Jewel, November 2023. Before that, we had Fastlane, October 2023, 5 matches. Huh.
Yeah, I could see another 5. I think they might do it again.
It's weird because for some reason in my mind it's 7 matches, but it hasn't been that way, I guess, for at least a year. Payback.
Crazy.
September 2023, 6 matches. SummerSlam last year was a 9-match card, but that's SummerSlam.
Well, now they want to push that to 2 days, so I'm not surprised by that.
Right. They'll probably do 4 matches per day.
That could happen.
Money in the Bank, 7 matches last year. And let me give you one last one. Night of Champions was a 7-match card as well, way back in May of 2023 in Saudi Arabia. So that was the late May show in Saudi Arabia last year, Night of Champions. They did 7 matches. So sometime around September, October, November, they decided, we're going to do 5-match pay-per-views. And that's what they've been doing since then. So what are the 5 matches that we see here? Is it Cody AJ? I think after tonight you kind of have to, right?
I mean, regardless of how it all went down, AJ still isn't the number 1 contender, right? Because Nick Aldis said he has to. He's not the next guy, and just because he attacked him, like, I think he's going to have a match to prove that he's the number 1 contender, I think.
But can't Cody say, like, I challenge you, I want AJ Styles because I'm the champion and I get to do that sometimes? That's usually a thing in wrestling.
They always love to just be like, oh, the wrestlers make the matches and then Aldis just confirms. Of course, that could easily happen too. But we have so much time between now and Money in the Bank. I think that's what they could do if they're going to drag that all the way to Money in the Bank.
Okay, so say you scratch Cody and AJ from this one, from Clash at the Castle, which is coming up, by the way, June 15th. Tomorrow is June 1st, so we're 2 weeks away. They've got 2 weeks of TV to do this thing. The SmackDown before Clash at the Castle, by the way, is in Glasgow, Scotland as well. They're in Hershey on Monday for Raw, Hershey, PA. Louisville, Kentucky, as I mentioned, next week for SmackDown. Following Monday's Raw in Toledo, Ohio. Then they travel over to Europe, Glasgow, Scotland for SmackDown. And then Clash at the Castle on Saturday afternoon, June the 15th. So Drew and Damian is the big one. Book the rest for me. If you're telling me it's not going to be Cody and AJ, which I will dispute. I think they will do Cody and AJ at Clash at the Castle. But so in my world, those are 2 matches we already have, even though they're not fully official. I think we probably see Bayley versus Piper Niven.
Yep.
And I don't know, something else from Raw. Gunther doing something, maybe?
One more from SmackDown. Oh, yeah, for sure. Maybe Sammy and Chad, they could do that.
Yep.
But I think one more from SmackDown.
Bianca and Jade against somebody. Maybe.
Yeah, but that could be SmackDown versus Raw, because I believe it's Shayna and her partner. I'm forgetting her name right now, but they're the number 1 contenders right now.
Mm-hmm. Or the Trish Stratus one lady, right? Zoe Stark?
Zoe, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be one of them. It's kind of mid, right?
And I think you put LA Knight against Carmelo Hayes, because they've been kind of hyping that for a couple weeks now. So
do it on SmackDown.
You could.
You don't need it on a big PLE.
I think LA Knight should be on bigger shows. Like, I'm surprised they just only had him in the crowd in Saudi Arabia. He should have had a match, I think. That would have been an amazing reaction.
I think LA Knight Logan Paul is being set up for Money in the Bank or SummerSlam.
I think SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
I think I could see both of them being in Money in the Bank and costing each other the Money in the Bank, and then they'll have the match at SummerSlam, I think.
Mm-hmm. How about Priest and Drew? Do you think Drew takes it? Do you think Punk interferes? Like, how does this all go down? I'm really not sure what they're gonna do. I feel like Drew is gonna walk out of the thing as the new champion. I think he's just gonna beat Priest. I don't think Punk's gonna show up until after this thing. I don't think they want to give Punk the heat of showing up and taking boos by Screw and Drew in his hometown, because the crowd's going to hate it if Punk does that. And I don't think they want to make Punk a big heel at this point in his run. So I think Drew just beats Priest. Because Priest's title run so far has been not special, but it's also not been very long. So you go, okay, it's been a couple months. Priest hasn't lit the world on fire as champion, but do you really want to take it away from him at this point without really giving him a real shot at a run? It's a tough decision to make, because it feels like you put the title on Drew now. Drew didn't get the belt last time against Roman in Wales. He gets the redemption story. He gets to finish his story in Glasgow, Scotland. He gets the big reaction. He gets that. And it sets up Drew versus Punk at SummerSlam for the belt, which is a huge match.
But that's not going to happen.
To me, that's the direction that you would like to make. You know, that's where you would like to go if you're WWE. Because Drew and Punk is obviously the big match to make. And at SummerSlam would be the time to make it if Punk is healthy.
But also, if you're doing that, that can't be for the title, because Gunther has the shot at SummerSlam. So that means if you're going to do Drew versus Punk,
right,
it has to be non-title.
Right.
So by that thinking, but you also take into consideration Money in the Bank. So someone else could be the champion instead of Drew. Could win it and then lose it too as well. That could very well happen.
Yeah.
Like, unlike Cody's probably going to be champion for a while. So again, the World Heavyweight title might be the hot potato here. We might have several champions before we get to SummerSlam.
Yeah. It's very interesting, what they're doing here, because you got to look at that match and pay close attention, because you never know how they're going to finish it, and you never know what they're going to do. They got a lot of options and a lot of people involved in this story. To me, it's the most interesting match that the WWE has on the table right now, because they have a lot of decisions to make with a lot of big-name wrestlers. They got Punk involved in this. They got Gunther involved in this. They got Drew. And then they got Damian Priest, who's the champion, and he feels like an afterthought in the whole situation. Which, do you want to keep him that way? Do you want to elevate him by getting a big win over one of these guys to let people know, like, hey, this guy isn't an afterthought. He's not just a Money in the Bank cash-in fluke champion. He's legit. Has he had a major title defense since winning? He hasn't really been solidified. Who'd he beat? Jey Uso with help?
Yeah, that's pretty much it so far.
That's not great. Jey Uso isn't known as a strong singles competitor. Jey Uso is mostly known as one half of the greatest tag team in WWE, the Usos, I mean, you could call him main event Jey Uso, but that's just not his reputation in professional wrestling. So, Drew is looked at as, one of the main event players. Gunther is looked at as a future main event guy who's, right on the cusp of it. CM Punk is a legend in the business. Damian Priest hasn't really done much outside of win Money in the Bank a long time ago, hold on to it for a while, kind of be scared to cash in a lot of times, being overshadowed in his group by Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. I don't know. I saw the promo this week with Who's he talking to? Gunther?
Andrew.
And Drew. I don't know. Gunther and Drew seem to be more believable.
Yep.
I don't want to bury Damian Priest because I like Damian Priest. You know? I want him to succeed as champion. I like it. I like that he's getting the shot. But we're a couple months in now, and you can see, like, well, this is who he is. He hasn't really elevated his game, but the WWE has not given him a ton to work with. Now he's got a big match in Scotland against Drew. Everybody thinks he's going to lose. If he could come out with a win, look strong, it would do a lot for him. Is that where the WWE is trying to go? I don't know. Because if it is, like, well, what's after that for Priest? Gunther? And then what? Does he beat Gunther, or is Gunther the guy to beat him at SummerSlam? There's a lot of decisions they have to make here about their World Heavyweight Champion on Raw. They made him champion. They had to do it eventually. They did it at Mania. And now, I think they're still trying to figure it out. I think Priest is still trying to figure it out, that's for sure. It's tough, man. It's tough. They're in a tough spot with him. Because on the one hand, I think as a booker, you want to give the guy a shot to make it work. But on the other hand, you got to look at what he's actually producing and go, it's not as good as some of these other guys. Tough decisions.
No, you're right. You're right. But I think they have that option where it's like, well, we have a screw job finish with Punk. Yeah, the fans would boo, but whatever. Like, once he comes back to the U.S., it'll be fine. So if they need to get out, they can get out of this situation.
They don't even need Punk, right? I mean, they've got the Judgment Day there. They could also help him win.
Yeah, but it's mainly for Drew, though. Because Drew needs that where it's like, oh, Punk, you took, like, it's kind of like Punk would be the new Solo in a sense, where, oh, like the Bloodline, they ruined it for me. Now Punk ruined it for me, you know, and then that's going to be his big revenge for SummerSlam. I have to get revenge. He's the one who ruined it. So I think, yeah, the Judgment Day, they'll get involved, but I see Drew overcoming that, but he can't overcome Punk, I think.
I'm interested in this Clash at the Castle show in a couple of weeks. I think it'll be good, Johnny. I'm excited to see what they do.
That's the main event. I mean, it makes sense. That's the draw, like you said. I just hope we get a decent undercard because that's what's kind of been lacking. Like, we get one good match, not the rest of the show, though, sadly.
Yeah. I think you're probably right about that. So, you know, hopefully the undercard delivers, but I don't have high hopes for the rest of that show. But at least they have one main event where you go, ooh, I got to see this.
A draw is nice. It's nice to have that at least, yeah.
It is nice to have a match that's an actual draw for a change in WWE. I'm happy about that. So SmackDown tonight, we saw Nia Jax introduced as Queen of the Ring, and she wants Bayley to come out. And Nia Jax, of course, as Queen of the Ring, has a shot at SummerSlam against the champion, who is currently Bayley. But Bayley comes out and is immediately attacked by Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. And Chelsea tells Nia that it won't be Bayley champion, it will be Piper Niven, the champion at SummerSlam. So it seems like they're setting up a Piper Niven-Bayley title match. Tommaso the Ciampa beat Austin Theory with a roll-up after Theory was distracted by Waller outside the ring. Like, it's just... The SmackDown Tag Team title division. Rough.
Well, I was never a fan of breaking up the Undisputed Tag titles, but for whatever reason, they thought they had a strong enough tag division for 2 shows. And now we're starting to see that it doesn't really work out too well.
Mm-hmm. Andrade was going to wrestle Apollo Crews, and I go, oof. Apollo Crews just never going to win anything. I mean, he didn't even get an entrance tonight.
But he got screwed over, though.
Yes, he did. Angel Garza providing the help for Andrade, trying to enlist Andrade's services into Legado del Fantasma. We saw Santos Escobar and the rest of the crew out there after the match trying to recruit Andrade, but Andrade didn't seem convinced by the efforts. He did get the win, though, over Apollo Crews after the distraction from Garza and Andrade hitting a couple moves in his finisher. I think the most compelling stuff was the Paul Heyman Bloodline stuff. I mean, the AJ Styles promo I never really bought. He's not retiring. I didn't buy it.
To me, it was just, one of the guys or writers saw the Mark Henry thing with John Cena, and they were like, oh, let's just do that again. And they did it. It wasn't as good, but it got the point across that AJ's going to get a shot again eventually. And that's what happened. To me, it's like Styles Clash off the steps to the floor. Like, doesn't that hurt AJ more than Cody? But, I mean, that was his idea, I guess.
What's with the crowd in Albany when AJ goes, maybe instead of being a phenomenal AJ Styles, I'm going to stay at home and be a phenomenal father. And the crowd starts booing. Like, no, boo. Don't be a good father to your children. Stay with us and stay on the road and be a wrestler. I was like, what? They should cheer that at that point. But no, they were booing. And I was like, you're going to boo a man who wants to be a good dad? That's a weird choice.
People like deadbeats.
Apparently.
They're the faces.
God. I don't like that. But, I don't know. I didn't buy it. It felt like an angle the whole time. And the minute he brought Cody out there, I was like, oh, he's going to attack Cody. I thought the Good Brothers might even help, but they didn't. They just watched.
Well, they kind of helped by blocking anything from helping, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The referees were coming out, and they stopped the referees. They did kind of help. Are we to understand that they knew what AJ was doing, or they didn't know, they just enjoyed it?
Well, I think either they knew or they just went along with it. I mean, they're better as heels. I mean, they're not really over anyway, so they might as well just be henchmen. I think that's the best use of them.
It's about time. I don't know what all that was about not wanting those guys around anymore. Makes sense to me. Having those guys in WWE doing nothing as opposed to having those guys in WWE with AJ. I mean, come on. Why not? I like the Heyman stuff, though. Heyman was really good tonight.
He showed his range of emotions and all that. Like, I didn't mind it. It just felt like we didn't really progress. And to me, Kevin, the way he cut his promo, like, it was a great promo. Like, Kevin's very good at cutting promos. But he kind of buried the bloodline by saying Solo and those two other guys, whoever they are. And it's like, whoa, like, what a way to, like, bury them.
Yeah,
that's
he said,
rough.
No one likes them and no one wants them here.
Jeez, like,
yeah.
I mean, it's good, but, like, they just started. Like,
well,
what a way to kill them.
Heyman said that they're not even human. Okay? Heyman is like, okay, but I thought it was really interesting because we learned a lot about the inner workings of the bloodline and about these guys and about how Roman Reigns might feel about them from this promo, which I think is good because without Roman around, we kind of need to know where everybody stands and how it all works out, right? So first we see Paul Heyman with Solo Sikoa backstage, and he's like, look, there's all this random violence going on from the bloodline, but there's no strategy. You got to strategize with me. I'm the wise man. Roman always talked to me, and we didn't do random violence. We did it to protect the family. And Heyman says, look, we got to have a strategy so that when Roman comes back, we have Cody Rhodes in check. That is the goal. The goal, okay, we haven't known the goal up until now. The goal, as Paul Heyman sees it, and apparently as Roman Reigns is seeing it, is to have Cody Rhodes in check whatever that means, by the time Roman, the tribal chief, comes back. Solo tells Heyman, we have Cody in check. He doesn't even know it, which I don't know what that means. And then Heyman asks, all due respect, who's we? Because he's trying to figure out who's in this group, what is going on. And then Kevin Owens' music hits on the TV, and Solo's really mad about this, and he says, Heyman, you go and you deal with this. You deal with Kevin Owens because he's a problem for us. And Tanga Loa and Tama Tonga are with Solo at this point, standing just kind of there, threatening Heyman with their faces. So Kevin Owens comes out, starts talking in the ring, says, he tried to help Randy against the Bloodline at King of the Ring, but he wasn't able to, and Randy, didn't become King of the Ring, but he didn't really lose, and then he calls out Solo Sikoa because he knows that they're around and he wants to fight them. And Heyman comes out instead, and he says, look, Roman respected you. He didn't want to do anything too crazy to you, but Solo, he doesn't respect you. And Solo has hired these criminals into the Bloodline that we turned down at one point. They were trying to join, but we said no because we have background checks, and we make sure that we have the right people. We didn't want them representing us. So these are guys, okay, this is an important point. These are guys that Roman has known about and has denied entry into this group. Roman goes away, and all of a sudden Solo has them as his main dude. So there's a split there between Roman and what Solo's doing. So we haven't known that up until, we don't know how Roman feels about these guys, because it's not been made clear at all. But now tonight, Heyman goes, these guys wanted to join, but they didn't pass the background checks because they're criminals. He says that they are they're not even people. They are bloodthirsty, sadistic thugs, which I thought was pretty strong language to call people that are, to call somebody not a person. Especially as a white dude saying that about, a guy with tan skin. It's just it's not a good look. He's not a person. It's ooh, take it easy, buddy.
They did the same with Crush, too, because he had a criminal background. So they're, he's out of control. He's crazy, sadistic.
Yeah. It's just, it didn't feel good for Heyman to say that they're not people and they're sadistic thugs. But, whatever. And then he begged Kevin Owens to just back off the Bloodline because they're going to kill you and it's going to be horrible. And Kevin's like, no, I'm not going to stop fighting them. I don't like them. No one likes them. They should all leave. And then Heyman just gets mad. He's like, why won't anybody listen to me? What's going on? And then he's flailing his arms and he bumps Kevin Owens with the microphone. And then Kevin goes, oh. And then my audio cut. I guess the crowd started chanting something derogatory. I don't know what happened. My audio just cut after that.
I'm gonna guess they chanted "you effed up," and that's why your audio.
That's what I would guess too. But
yeah.
So then Solo and the guys came out at that point, and then the Street Profits showed up, and then they all had a match. And it was Solo, Tanga Loa, and Tama Tonga getting the win over Kevin Owens and the Street Profits, where Tama Tonga hit his finisher on Montez and got the win. And I am enjoying just seeing Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa beating up the Street Profits outside the ring on SmackDown, because it's just bizarre to see the Gorillas of Destiny on SmackDown, because they were just the tag team in New Japan for so long. I'm used to seeing them at the Tokyo Dome and Korakuen Hall, not on SmackDown in Albany wrestling the Street Profits. Just seeing those guys in the WWE context is just, it's weird still. I like it, though. I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they get to do this. I'm happy they get to have this experience that they obviously wanted at this stage in their career. I think it's very cool. So I'm happy to see Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa, just because I've been a fan of these guys for so long, and seeing them in WWE, it's very weird. It's very weird. it doesn't seem like, it seems like, what the hell are they doing here? Like, it's kind of like a video game or something, you know? But it's real life. They're really there. I think it's cool. I don't know how over they're getting right now in WWE, but like, if you've been a New Japan fan for years, you know, I think it's cool seeing those guys there.
Well, in order for them to get over, they should be the tag team champions sooner than later. I think that will help them get over. Tag titles don't mean much, but at least they can say like they have them, and they can help elevate the tag titles, because whatever the Bloodline does, that's the most important thing on SmackDown. So that'll actually make the tag titles mean something. Because right now it's just like, oh, it's just they're around, whatever, and they're kind of annoying. And well, we have them, but if the Guerrillas of Destiny had them, then it's like, oh, watch out for these guys.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's too bad AJ turned heel, because Guerrillas of Destiny against Gallows and Anderson, or maybe all those guys together. Like, you have the original Bullet Club here in WWE right now.
Well, Solo said he hasn't been checked, right, Cody? So maybe he kind of does.
That'd be some group.
We'll have to wait and see as all progresses, I guess.
But, I mean, Tama and Tonga and Anderson and Gallows, I mean, they're buddies. They're all, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's a real association there. That's Bullet Club. That's original Bullet Club. Like, original. Founding members, you know?
You might get it.
Yeah. Oof. It's interesting what they're doing on SmackDown. A lot of New Japan stuff. A lot of New Japan guys, right? Yeah, but I thought that was the best stuff that we saw on SmackDown. The Bloodline stuff, which, you know, that's usually how it is.
You weren't a fan of the main event, I guess.
What was the main event?
It was a tag match.
Chelsea Green and
match.
Piper Niven against Naomi and Bayley?
Yeah, I guess you didn't like that too much.
I mean, I guess it was the main event. The main event to me was the angle with AJ and Cody, but yeah, I mean, it was what it was, the tag match. I was surprised that Piper and Chelsea won.
I thought Naomi seemed kind of slow. I don't know what it was, but her hot tag didn't really have a lot of energy to it. I mean, she did her things, but it felt like, I don't know if the crowd was not into it or something, but it just felt like going through the motions.
I don't know. Again, I think they're tired. It's a lot of travel. Did Naomi go to Saudi Arabia?
She may have, but I don't think she wrestled.
No, maybe she didn't go.
She may have been
I don't
there.
know. A lot of the people just seem tired. They seem tired at the King of the Ring. It's a lot of travel. I don't know. I think a lot of them are just worn out.
I got more travel ahead.
That grind going into Mania. You know, they all push so hard going into Mania. So many of them trying to get a spot. So many of them trying to, you know, solidify their positions. They all push so hard going into WrestleMania that the drop-off afterwards, it's got to be tough. You know?
Well, I think it's the travel. The travel's even more intense now.
Yeah.
They've done like 2 UK trips already, and the PLEs. Like, and we're going for more again. Like, every PLE is an international event now. So there's always going to be tons of travel. Like, it doesn't end here.
Yeah. I mean, think of Cody's schedule just in the month of May and June. End of May, he's in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on the 24th and the 25th. The next week, he's in Albany, New York. The week after, he's in Louisville, Kentucky. The week after that, he's in Glasgow, Scotland. The week after that, he's in Chicago, Illinois.
It never stops.
You're going to Saudi Arabia, Albany, Louisville, Scotland, and Chicago in a month. That's 5 weeks. Just the
Rabid
travel.
crowds too.
And you're going back home,
intense.
and you have a kid, and you're wrestling, and you know, house shows. I mean, it's the grind. If you don't do it, I don't respect you. Right? It's a hell of a grind. And with the more international shows they do, you know, they're doing more and more, but the travel is rough.
Well, you understand now more why it's only 5 matches of PLE. They're trying to save their talent in a sense from overusing them, I guess.
Yeah, you don't want to bring too many people over there. You want to save some people. Save their bodies, save their minds. Save their families a little bit too. God. Rough.
That's boo, boo.
Yeah, boo. Well, I think that's what Becky Lynch is doing. I think she's just taking a break. That's the word, right? That's all the reports are saying. Becky has stepped away from WWE. She doesn't have a contract. Her contract runs out, I think, at midnight tonight. I think her contract runs out in like 40 minutes. So, she doesn't have a new one with WWE, and I think she's going to take some time off and just parent and be at home with Seth while he's injured. And maybe when Seth comes back to WWE, she'll work her way back into a new contract, or maybe not. Maybe she won't come back for a year or 2 or 3 or 4. Who knows? I don't really expect her to go to AEW. But I want her to go to AEW. Because she could have that reduced schedule. She could improve that company. She could continue to do great work in the ring, on the microphone. She could continue to change the business, to help the business, to push it forward, to continue her excellent work because she's one of the best in the world. I would like to see her continue her wrestling career, but maybe without that grind of the WWE schedule, which, as we just talked about, is rough. So, I would like to see Becky go to AEW. Selfishly, because I think there are a lot of fun matchups for her to have there. And their division needs somebody like Becky Lynch. They already have some very good wrestlers, but, you know, I think they need a few more. Getting Sasha Banks was huge. Everything that Toni Storm is doing is great. I think Chris Statlander is going to be elevated, and, you know, if she can stay healthy, she's going to be really good. Willow Nightingale is coming into her own. She's a really solid performer. Hopefully Britt Baker comes back. But, you know, Britt's not around. They lost Jade Cargill. I think a few more pieces to that roster would really help. And I think Becky Lynch would be a massive, massive addition to the AEW women's division. Just huge. To AEW just as a company. It would be... I think it would be bigger than Sasha Banks. I think Becky can do more. I think Becky's a bigger star in pro wrestling.
I think it really just comes down to priorities right now. Like I don't think wrestling is her priority. I think being a mom is her number one priority. And regardless of the fans booing that, I think that's a good thing. So it's nice that she's doing that. And if anything, it's good for wrestlers in a sense, just like take a break and see what the landscape is in a year from now. And then see what it's like. And then if she gets the interest to come back to it, go back in. Because like I'm sure they'd like her to stay. But imagine what it's going to be like a year from now. might be a totally different landscape. So she might be more interested a year from now. Sometimes you just need that little break to refuel you, in a sense, like just to give you that extra energy, like extra motivation. Like, oh, I didn't have this before, now I have this.
We have heard WWE wrestlers coming to the end of their contract telling everybody in WWE that they don't plan on going anywhere. They don't plan on going to AEW. They're just going to take some time off and rest. And then a couple weeks later, they show up in AEW. We have seen that before.
Edge. Yeah. Edge did that, yeah.
Edge did that. Didn't Moxley do that too?
No, Moxley said he's leaving. He's not signing. He's not coming back.
But he didn't say that he was going anywhere else.
No, he just said he was not coming back to WWE. That's pretty much it. This is different, though. A lot of hate there.
I don't know. Yeah, the podcast he did after about Vince was pretty good. I feel like it wasn't just Edge. Somebody else left WWE and went to AEW and kind of said, like, didn't Brian say that he was just gonna?
Brian said he was just. Yeah, Brian was like, I just going to take a break kind of thing, and then showed up,
yeah, which was a total lie.
Well, not a lie, just not completely telling the truth.
Yeah. Which, if you're Becky and you are planning on going to AEW, you do want to keep it as a surprise because it's better that way. So why wouldn't you tell everybody that you're not going to AEW? Because if you start telling people in WWE that that's what you plan on doing or whatever... I mean, A, you can't do that yet because it'd be contract tampering, right? So she can't say she's going to AEW.
Right.
Right? Like, she can't say to anybody, oh, I'm going to AEW. It's like, well, no, you're still under contract with WWE. What do you mean? They contacted you? They can't do that.
Right. Right.
They can't talk to her until her contract is up because that's a lawsuit that's going to happen. So Becky has to say, oh, I'm not going to AEW. I'm going to, Mm-hmm. I'm taking time off. She's got to say that. But it doesn't mean it's true. Just because that's a report, it's like if Dave Meltzer talks to 6 people in WWE and those 6 people are all telling him, oh, Becky's just taking time off. That's what she's telling everybody. You go, okay, well, that's a story, I guess. But Becky could be bullshitting everybody because she's planning on going to AEW, but she can't actually say it. Because if she has had kind of back channel talks with AEW, it's kind of not allowed.
Off the record.
Off the record, but you're not really supposed to do that, right? AEW is not supposed to do that. But it might happen from time to time. So if she's got those plans, she's not going to put them out there. And she shouldn't. And I think it would be cool if she did show up in AEW. As a wrestling fan, I would love it. I hope she does it. I'm not sure she will. I'm on the side of probably not, which I'm happy with because if she does show up, I'll be real surprised and it'll be nice. So I hope she does because I'm a big Becky Lynch fan and I like when she's on wrestling TV. She makes wrestling better. She's one of those people. It's like, well, this person sucks, this person sucks, this person sucks. Oh, but here's Becky. At least Becky's on the show. There's Becky going to do something. So when somebody like that just steps away from wrestling as a whole, you go, can't she come back, once a week, once every 2 weeks? Do a Dynamite here and there? As a fan, selfishly, I do want her to stick around in some capacity.
Well, personally, I wish she would stay on Raw because Raw definitely needs her. Without her on Raw, that's a huge hole on that roster. And I look at the Raw Women's division, that's very difficult to replace. You're going to have to put Bianca or something or Bayley. That's a major hole for Raw not to have Becky on that show.
Yep. You got Liv Morgan kissing Dominic Mysterio. Dominic didn't know what to make of it. It's going to be Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley battling for custody of Dominic one day.
I didn't get a chance to see that because my edition of Raw ended with them just staring at each other, and it just went to black. So,
Liv grabbed Dominic's face and kissed him.
Married
call
man
that a
getting
kiss. She mostly just kind of pushed her face into his and just kind of went,
vacuum. Yeah, okay.
No, she just, I don't know. It didn't look like it was a, it wasn't like Lana and Dolph Ziggler where they were like open mouth, tongue in, and all sorts. It was really over the top. This was just kind of like, it looked uncomfortable for both of them. They just had to get it over with.
Okay, well, that sounds like it was terrible. Horrible.
Well, no, it was fine.
Okay.
It did what it had to do. Liv kind of planted it on Dominic, and Dominic was like, oh, my God, It was all right.
It's a weird way to end the show, but I mean, it didn't really have anything else going on, so I guess they needed some sort of something of interest to end that show, I guess.
There you go. Antoinette checking in, gifting the membership there to Jimmy James. Thank you, Antoinette.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Shout out to Antoinette, longtime member of the team.
Well, the longest, I think.
Yeah, for sure. What the hell were we just talking about, John? I'm lost.
Talking about Liv
Morgan. Yeah, well, it provided for a good picture, right? WWE has been putting that picture everywhere.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the promo. I wasn't a big fan of the match. Honestly, the kiss doesn't really add much interest. Like, I'm not big into this. And going forward, like, Rhea's not around. What are they going to do now?
I don't know. The whole thing was Dominic was trying to help Becky. He opened the cage door, but then Braun Strowman came out, and it was all sorts of stuff, and Braun kind of bumped Dominic, and he bumped into the cage door, which hit Becky in the head, and that helped Liv win. So again, just like at the Saudi Arabia show, Dominic tries to make Liv lose, trying to get revenge for Rhea Ripley because Liv injured Rhea. Dominic trying to get revenge, but it backfires, and it winds up costing Becky the match, just like it did in Saudi Arabia. It happened again in the steel cage, and now Liv, I guess, has convinced herself that Dominic is doing it on purpose, or he's not, but he's been helpful anyways, so she gave him a celebratory kiss. I don't know where they go from there. Rhea Ripley is hurt for a while. I guess they do a bunch of awkward promos with Dominic and Liv. See where it goes. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Like, I wasn't too big into the Rhea Dom thing. I mean, you knew it wasn't a real relationship anyways because they're both in their own relationships that they flaunt everywhere anyways. So it's hard to even really care about the stuff. But it's like, it's a partnership. It's nice. But now we're getting this, it's now with Liv. And it's like, oof. Like, Rhea's a good character. Liv's not very exciting to watch. And I'm not looking forward to those promos. Like chalk, like scratching, like ugh.
And they keep having Lyra Valkyria beat the better women on Raw.
They're doing that on purpose. They need to build up new stars, so that's why they're doing that, I think.
Yeah, but Io and Kyrie are the ones getting sacrificed, and they're the best ones on the whole show.
Well, yeah, you saw Io was mad about it, and she broke stuff. So something's gonna happen because of this now.
It better. They got to do more with Io. Io's so good. I always want more Io. You know me, Johnny. I want more Io all the time. Io is my favorite.
I think you'll get it. I think you'll get more of it, and it's not like they're bad or anything. It's just they need to help build up new stars, especially faces. They're just lacking faces, and they're very heel heavy on Raw, so that's what's happening. But I expect they have an idea to do with damage control because they need to do something. Like, Raw is very boring in terms of the women's division right now.
Yep. I don't love it. Without Becky, without Rhea, like they lose Rhea, that hurts. Then they lose Becky like a month later. Damn. Where's Ron Simmons? Damn.
Where's Charlotte? I mean, we need someone to save this division on Raw.
If you're going to put Charlotte on Raw, you better move Andrade there too.
That's true. But Raw needs it more. I'm just saying, like.
Raw needs something. SmackDown's overloaded. It's like there's no room for Tiffy time on SmackDown. They got Bayley, they got Nia, they got Piper and Chelsea and Naomi and Bianca and Jade. And then there's Tiffy time. Why'd they put her on SmackDown? They should have put her on Raw. They got too many good people on SmackDown and nobody on Raw. They need to put somebody on Raw. Or they do less Bianca and Jade on SmackDown and more of them on Raw. Because Jade's wrestling on SmackDown next week against Indy Hartwell. So, like, when Jade's wrestling, it's on SmackDown. It's not on Raw. So what's the Raw Women's Division? Like, it's like SmackDown has so much embarrassment of riches, and Raw is just sitting over there poor as hell, losing stars left and right. They lost their two biggest stars in the span of a month. One due to injury, the other one because she didn't want to re-up on her contract. That's tough for a TV show to lose your two top stars. Very difficult. And if they could bring in somebody from SmackDown, it would really help. Where's Alexa Bliss? Is she going to be in that new Wyatt family thing? I mean, they're obviously doing something with Bo Dallas, maybe Eric Rowan, and maybe Alexa Bliss.
You're seeing it every week.
Yeah, we're seeing the things every week, but are we seeing any progress? When do they actually show up? All these little spooky messages and QR codes and whatever. When did these people actually show up? And who's in the group? And what is this? What show are they on? Because if they have Alexa Bliss, quite frankly, she could be the leader of the group. Because I feel like she's got a closer relationship on TV, at least, to Bray Wyatt for the audience than the other two guys that could be in the group. Like the Uncle Howdy thing was not really developed as much as the Alexa Bliss Bray Wyatt relationship. And Eric Rowan was kind of with him so long ago and then gone. Like, I feel like if they're going to bring back that type of group, some sort of Bray Wyatt tribute group, whatever, something in the vein of a Wyatt family, if they have Alexa Bliss, she could lead that thing. And she, as a former champion and somebody who could cut a promo, and she can, she can have a match. She's not the best, but she's a star. She could help. She could help. I know John's like, but I mean, come on. It's not like if they brought back Alexa Bliss, it wouldn't, it wouldn't be nothing.
Yeah, it's something, like you said, like she is known. She would get a reaction without question. Wrestling-wise, I don't, like, when's the last time she wrestled? Like, even when she was wrestling, she was barely even wrestling. Like, I feel like, bring her back to be a character. I think that's all she wants to be. That was another problem, by the way, with Liv and Tiffany. Like, they're like, oh, by a certain age, I want to be in Hollywood. Like, Tiffany wants to be by 30 if she wants to be in Hollywood. Hard to get behind these people that don't really care about being wrestlers.
I don't know. Who doesn't want to be a wrestler?
Well, just remember when Liv got arrested, they found her diary and said that she wants to be in Hollywood. And that's her ultimate goal. Like,
what? Who got arrested?
Yeah, yeah.
Liv Morgan got arrested. They found her diary.
Hey, you didn't see that with the police cam, no? With the footage that aired?
They had a diary? No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't see that? Yeah, yeah. When she got arrested, remember, for when she had weed in her car, remember?
Yeah.
Anyways, the body cam, they were reading her diary, and that's her big thing. She wants to be in Hollywood. That's her big goal in life.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not big on people that just want to, don't really care about wrestling. They're just using wrestling to make in Hollywood, and Tiffany's one of them too.
Tiffany?
Yeah. Your big Tiffy time is only here till she gets the Hollywood time.
What makes you say that? She said that or what?
Yeah, she said that, yeah.
Is that part of her gimmick or for real?
Said it on a podcast. I mean, yeah, maybe it's part of her gimmick, like you say, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
I mean, she's only 24. So,
some of them are doing that. Good luck to them. I mean, I've seen a lot of people cut shitty promos and then have movie careers afterwards. So it's possible. Look at Dave Bautista. Guy was terrible.
Well, Dave Bautista's a great example. Like, it's the whole 5-6 years and then move on to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of them have the plan for. Just do this for a couple of years and then bam, to Hollywood.
Well, good luck with all that. That's fine with me. I really don't care if that's what they're doing. I mean, I don't really like that the WWE promotes them because they don't seem like they have their heart in it and they're not that good. But
I bet WWE loves this, though.
I'm happy to see them leave.
Because they love having celebrities then. Oh, they made it because they were in WWE, and then we can promote that, and then they can come back. They would love that. I'm sure WWE, it's a great idea for WWE.
Yeah, they don't mind it. I don't know what Liv Morgan's really going to be doing outside of pro wrestling, but who knows, man. I didn't see it with Batista, and there it is. Will Ospreay, he likes to wrestle. I don't think he's in it for Hollywood. I think he's in it to be a pro wrestler.
Yeah, I think so. I think he wants to be the best wrestler in the world, and I mean, it's hard to argue that at this point.
He's pretty damn good. He wrestled again this week on Dynamite in that gauntlet casino thing, which it's just so
That's
many.
their new favorite match. Get used to it.
It's not a match. It's just two guys start, and then after an unknown period of time, another guy comes out and joins the match, and then more guys show up until a certain number of guys are in the match. This one was 9. I don't know how many it's supposed to be or normally is. It doesn't seem to have a rule set. It's just dumb. It's just a bunch of guys coming in, random guys coming in, doing moves, and then everybody just kind of standing outside the ring watching the two guys wrestle. What is that? It's awful.
Apparently the match, like usually in a gauntlet match like this, like if it's a battle royal kind of style, you have to wait for everyone to get in and then the match can actually start. With this, though, it actually could end right with the first two. Whoever gets the first pinfall, it could be over. Like Roderick Strong said he was supposed to come out for that, but the match was over before he was able to come out. So apparently that's how the match works. Though I don't believe that's true. I think he's just kayfabe in it. But still, like, that's the idea of the match, that people just keep coming out.
It's so dumb.
But they love it.
Why?
And they seem to keep doing it because apparently, like, I know you don't like it, but apparently a lot of people have said it's great. And I understand where it's not a battle royal. It's definitely better than a battle royal. But I agree where it's kind of ridiculous where people are just dead on the outside when they've been there. They do pretty much it's just spot after spot after spot. That's pretty much how the match works.
It's not wrestling.
Oh, it's fast food wrestling is what it is.
It's garbage. It's garbage. It's the dumbest match I've ever seen, and I can't believe they did it again. This time to determine who their next world title contender is going to be. It's embarrassing. I tune out.
the winner made sense, though. I mean, I'm glad it was Ospreay because I looked at everyone who's in it. Ospreay had to win the match because whoever was going to face Swerve, I mean, he was the guy.
Well,
no one else I really wanted to see.
No, but they could have put anybody in there and had, like, Jay White could have pinned Shota Umino and won this match. Why not?
Jay White versus Swerve as the main event? Really? You want to see that on pay-per-view?
No, not really. Will Ospreay did win. It was Jay White, Pac, Mystico, Will Ospreay, Shota Umino, Claudio Castagnoli, Leo Rush, who I thought retired many times over, Orange Cassidy, and Hechicero. And then Ospreay won. So Ospreay is going to wrestle Swerve at Forbidden Door, which is really interesting because it's a similar situation to the Drew and Damian Priest match where you have Swerve, who hasn't been champion for very long, that you want to kind of keep strong and you want to keep his run going. But then you have Will Ospreay, who's just this unstoppable force right now, beating everybody, looking amazing, best wrestler in the world. It's hard to picture a world where he just loses. I think we see a screw job finish. I think we see maybe MJF get involved or something. We didn't see MJF on Dynamite this week, right?
We get him, they said he's on next week.
Okay.
And I guess Rush has challenged him too. So we might get a match as well.
Okay. That's good for Dynamite next week. Nothing this week from Mr. Friedman. But I could see him getting involved in some way in that match. Otherwise, I think it's hard to book a finish. Does Ospreay become AEW World Champion already? Seems a little soon in his run. I didn't see him getting a world title match for a while because I figured once he got the title match, he would become champion. But maybe he won't. I don't see them taking the belt off Swerve here. It seems too early. Ospreay's already the international champion. I don't know if Swerve wins the match, but I don't think Swerve loses the belt. I don't know what's going to happen exactly in the finish, but I don't see Swerve losing the belt to Ospreay this early in his run.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but it's very intriguing. That's what makes it so good. That's what makes me interested in this match because I feel like both guys should win, but that can't happen. So it's very interesting. I thought this was going to happen at Wembley, but we're not doing that. We're doing it early. So I feel like, well, then Ospreay has to win, right? Because he has to be the champion going into Wembley. How does it not? It doesn't make sense if it doesn't happen like that. But like you say, like Swerve just won the title. It's only his second big title defense. It's tough, but that's the draw for the pay-per-view without question right there.
Angelo asks, can they have a draw? Maybe a time limit draw? They go 60 minutes and then that's it? They do a Broadway? I mean, they could do it, and I think people would be happy with it because it would be so good that, you know, I think people would go into the match cheering for both guys, loving the match. They could have an incredible hour-long draw, and then at the end of it, it's like, well, there's no winner. 60 minutes, it's a draw, and I think people might give it a standing ovation if they do it right. There's a way to do it
right. Possible, but I mean, still, if you do a draw, that means you have to do another match at All In.
I don't know if you know this, John, but Ric Flair did a 1 hour draw every night, brother. 5 nights a week, twice on Sunday.
Why do you have to sound like Brett? I don't get it.
I don't know. I tried to do the Ric Flair. It doesn't work.
It sounds like
No,
Brett.
Brett's a little more. You know, Bret Hart. El Dandy's a real jam-up guy. What do you say? What's Bret say? I was doing a Bret Hart impression the other day. I was just talking like Bret. You know, everybody knows that Bret the Hitman Hart got screwed. Everybody knows. That's what Bret Hart said. I think that's the Bret Hart impression I have. Are you ready, John? Everybody knows that Bret the Hitman Hart. That's it. That's all I got. How is it?
Good.
It's good, right?
It's pretty good, yeah. I was wearing a Bret Hart tank today, and someone acknowledged me from their car. And I'm like, that's right. Bret is right. Bret was always right. Better than Danielson. Still.
I know when Johnny gives me the seal of approval on an impression, especially the Bret Hart impression, it must be good. Because Johnny, rarely gives me the seal. So if I'm doing the Bret right, then I got something. You know, Bret Hart! My brother Owen, he was a great wrestler. Triple H is a piece of shit.
Sounds a bit like what Bret would say, too.
Shawn Michaels!
There's many things to say there. Oh, is it good news or bad news? Or no news?
Good news double off the wall for Anthony Rizzo. Yankees are up 4-1 right now, top 6 in San Francisco. Aaron Judge has 2 home runs.
Terrible news.
2 home runs. He now leads the majors, I think, with 20. And he broke a Yankee record, which is a pretty amazing record. 25, now 26 extra base hits in the month of May for Aaron Judge. He has 26 extra base hits. Ooh, and the Yankees just scored twice on an error at the plate. One was just Glaber beat the throw, and then the second was just heads-up base running by Anthony Rizzo as the ball got away from the catcher. 6-1 Yankees now. Oh, baby. What happened? Okay, it was a wild pitch. So Glaber comes home. He makes it. And then the ball just kind of gets loose from the pitcher as he's trying to cover the plate. And Rizzo, he goes to third. He sees the ball get loose, and he goes home because no one knows where the ball is. That's fantastic. Heads up base running by Anthony Rizzo. That was really nice stuff. What a play. Pass ball, gets past the catcher. Glaber from third gets home. Rizzo goes from second to third, and then on the ball, just confusion. The catcher tossed it to the pitcher. Pitcher kind of bounced off his leg. He didn't know where it is. And then on the confusion, Rizzo just comes home and scores. What a play. God, I love baseball. Huh?
Tough times in San Fran.
Yeah. Not for the Yankees. Aaron Judge is 25th and now 26th extra base hit, which is a new Yankee record for the month of May. The previous record was 24, which he tied last night, held by Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. Aaron Judge tonight broke a Yankee record that was previously held by Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth together. And now Aaron Judge has surpassed them. Most extra base hits for a Yankee in the month of May, 26. And the month of May is not over. He's still playing. It's still May in San Francisco. It'll be May until the game's over. It'll be June here in a few minutes on the East Coast, but on the West Coast, Aaron Judge still has plenty of May to extend that record. It's always crazy when you tie a record or beat a record that's held by Babe Ruth, because it's held for so long. It's stood for so long. Great Yankee players since then. Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth. Nobody since has hit more extra base hits in the month of May. And then here's Aaron Judge, the all-time single-season home run king, the only guy who actually beat Roger Maris's record clean. And he's an all-time great baseball player. He is a legend. He is history in the making. It is a privilege. It feels like a privilege to watch this guy play baseball every night. He's so good. Come on, man. When you're talking about Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, you're talking about legends of the game, and Aaron Judge is among them. It's very special.
No, it's great. It's just, he hasn't won any World Series yet, so he's got to work on that.
Yes. The Babe definitely, he did that, right? You got to win the rings. I don't disagree with you. I would like some World Series victories. It would be nice. I think this year they've got a good shot, but it's going to be tough. It's always tough. James says Rizzo of Cubs fame. Yes, Tony Rizzo, who won with the Cubs. Angelo says wrestling, please, Dave. Well, I'll tell you what, Angelo. No.
There's a little bit of Dynamite left, I think. Still talking about now.
Edge is hurt. He had to drop the TNT title, and they're going to do a multi-man ladder match in honor of Edge to crown a new champion. They're doing qualifying matches. Konosuke Takeshita has already qualified. It will be is it just a 2-man ladder match? I thought it was like 6 dudes.
Well, I think it's going to be a 4-way in the end.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Okay. So, Edge is hurt. He broke his leg. He needs surgery.
But apparently he's only out for 6 months, they said.
Okay. Well, that's still a while.
Not bad. Well, Eddie Kingston's out for over a year.
He is? What happened to him?
Well, did you not see what happened? Like, I think he wrestled, what's his name? Gabe Kidd, I think his name is. And like he took he took a suplex off the ring apron to a table that was like set up next to the guardrail, but his leg hit the guardrail.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was rough. And you could tell right away he was hurt. And like, the Elite took credit for taking him out, but really it was that move that took him out. And apparently it's really bad. He'll be out at least until next year. So like January, February, earliest.
A lot of injuries to key players on the AEW roster. You don't have Eddie Kingston. You lose Edge now. Kenny Omega is not around. MJF has been out with an injury for a while. He's just coming back. Adam Cole is still not medically cleared. Britt Baker is still out. Jamie Hayter is still out with an injury. Like, so many. Where's Ricky Starks? I haven't seen him in a while. A lot of these wrestlers, some of their top main players injured. Darby's injured, but he's working through it somehow because he's crazy. He's just the world's toughest man. But a lot of injuries in AEW. Tough style. Gonna get hurt. But they've been hit with the injury bug real hard lately, and then losing Edge is difficult. Just so early in his TNT title run, but he'll be back. It's too bad, though. At this stage in his career, you never want to see him get hurt again and have to have surgery. It sucks. And I think it was probably on that elbow drop off the top rope. That looked rough.
Well, yeah, I think it's fair to say that. I think the part that's the saddest is that he'll miss Wembley now.
Yeah.
Like probably November, but he'll miss that big show, and I'm sure that would have been a big thing for him.
Mm-hmm. It's disappointing. Hopefully he'll get to do it next year and do a bigger match. I don't think he's done. I think Edge will definitely come back, and he'll be able to work Wembley. I think Edge, he had an incredible match. If not for the injury, he's been wrestling at a pretty high clip for a while now, right? Like, he's had a lot of matches. I don't think it's an issue where he's too old and he's injury prone. I think it's just like, well, it was a very intense match. Maybe he went a little too far with some spots, and he paid the price. It happens. I did see a clip, though, of Macho Man doing basically the same thing to, I think it was Hogan Piper, right?
Yeah.
And
that was
basically,
worse.
Macho was never the same afterwards. He got hurt, similar injury, had surgery, never really was the same in the ring.
I feel that was worse because it looked like their positioning was off because Piper was supposed to move out of the way, but I don't know if he moved out of the way in time, so Macho tried to readjust.
Yeah.
And when you try to readjust when you're in midair like that, it doesn't work out usually too well, and that's what happened. Or Edge, it's like, I think Edge he went for the jump and then realized, ooh, I'm either too close or too far, and he tried to readjust, and it didn't work out too well.
Yeah. Just jumping off the top and then landing kind of on your feet, which is what he did.
Yeah.
It's not smart.
That's it's painful, especially because like that wasn't the original. Like you're trying to change it in midair.
Yeah.
That's usually never good.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't Jim Cornette falling off the scaffolding, but it was rough. It was a rough landing.
I mean, that was more of his knee, I think, right? I think Edge is more of his.
Didn't he blow out like both his knees doing that? Google that one, kids. Jim Cornette scaffold match. Watch Cornette fall and his legs explode. I thought both his knees like exploded there. That was crazy. What were they thinking of making him do that? What was the plan to like make it work? I don't understand.
Dusty told him that, Ray Traylor, big boss fan, he'll just be there. You'll just fall into his arms.
Right. But he was way too high.
Well, yeah, he was way too high, and
he would have killed
really
Ray
hard
Traylor
to catch him like that. It doesn't work. Like,
yeah.
But Dusty had a way with words, and he was able to convince people to do that. Dusty, Paul Heyman, very good at tricking people.
As good promoters always are, just like Vince McMahon and all the great promoters. Great tricksters.
All the Vince stuff?
Oh, no.
All the Vince news this week?
There's more Vince news? I didn't see anything. What are you talking about?
They put on a pause now, the whole, like, investigation right now, because this might go into, like, a criminal case now. So
yeah, I saw that they're doing kind of they're approaching it differently, and they stopped something, and they might go criminal for Vince.
Yeah,
he could be facing jail time. There are indications that criminal charges may be pressed against Vince McMahon.
It's possible, yeah, which is kind of crazy, but it might get worse before it gets better.
I don't even know what that means anymore, man. Like, I don't know what it means. I don't know what courts mean, because it seems like there's rules for some dudes, regular dudes, and then there's other rules for, like, billionaires and ex-presidents. I don't understand how some dudes just, like, get convicted of things and then they're not going to jail. Like, is Donald Trump got convicted? Everybody was like, oh, he's guilty of all this stuff. I'm like, he's guilty of what exactly? What's happening? And then I'm like, they're like, it's a felony. He's a felon. I'm like, oh, yeah? And then he's going to jail? Because to me, like, you get convicted of a felony, they probably give you jail time or something. But it's not even clear. Like, to me, if you're found guilty of some shit, then you go to jail. Because that's how courts work. Because of TV. That's what I know. I'm not a lawyer. I just see things on TV. But no one seems to be sure. Like, I look on the internet and I'm like, well, what does this mean exactly that Donald Trump is guilty? Like, what's going to happen? And everybody has like a different story about what it means. And I'm like, well, what is the truth exactly? Somebody somewhere has got to know the actual answer. I really don't know. So what would happen to Vince? Who knows? Does he have to pay a fine? Is he not allowed to use like his penis for 6 months? Like what happens? I don't know. I don't know the rules. I don't understand how court systems are working anymore, man. The whole world is just like the world seems to be operating under a different rule set, and I wasn't advised of the changes. That's what it feels like to me. Like, we were playing one game, and I was like, okay, I know the rules here. We're playing a game. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, we're playing a different game altogether, and nobody told me. Like, I left the room, we come back, and it's like a different game, and I have pieces on the board, but I don't really know what the rules are or how to play them. And I'm just kind of looking around going, is this how you're doing it? How are you doing it? Just kind of looking around trying to see, like, trying to gauge, like, what's happening? Oh, these are the rules of this? This is how we're doing it now? I'm fucking lost, man. The world is... I think I'm getting older because I'm like... I don't know what the fuck anymore. I used to be hip, But now what's hip is, what is it? Strange and scary to me. It'll happen to you. Was it Grandpa Simpson line?
That's what he said, but
yeah,
Eminem came back with a new song, and I'm sure you loved that. It was a good thing to bring you back to your past life, no?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Did you see it?
I heard about it. I didn't see it yet, no.
Oh, man, I popped big time when I saw Shane Gillis in the video. I was like, oh, Shane Gillis in the video. I love Shane Gillis. He's my favorite comedian. His show Tires on Netflix is muy bueno. I recommend it highly. It's very easy to watch. It's like 20-minute episodes. There's like 6 of them. It's very funny. It's called Tires. It's on Netflix. It's starring Shane Gillis, who's very funny. He is... I've mentioned his podcast before. His podcast, Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, I really like it. It's very funny. It's really entertaining. I think Shane Gillis is the best comedian out there, and I saw him in the Eminem video, and I was like, what? He's in this video? Just had a brief cameo. It was cool. I guess Eminem is a fan too, which is cool. You haven't seen Tires, I'm guessing, John? Have you heard of it? Do you know what I'm talking about at all, or is this all new?
I don't know. All I know is Eminem insulted his kids, insulted Dre, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Wow, he's been saying stuff about Dr. Dre for years, right? Dr. Dre said, nothing, you idiots. Dr. Dre's dead. He's locked in my basement. You remember that? That was real Slim Shady, I think.
I thought they got along, though. I guess things changed, though.
No, they do get along. Dre was in the video with Eminem. And there's a hilarious scene where, like, they're in a car, just like they were in the, I think it was the business video. Is it the business video? I don't remember what the video was where they're in the car and it's like Batman and Robin. Anyway, they did that again, and then Dre like starts beating up Eminem at one point, and then they kind of look at each other, and then they start bobbing to the music again. It's a good scene. It's a very entertaining video. I like it a lot. It's fun. Eminem came back with a good one. What's it called? Houdini? Eminem Houdini? I like it. It's a good, it's a fine song, but I really like the video. I like the video more than the song, but the song I think is pretty good. It's catchy. It's not my favorite Eminem song. Like, I still think his older stuff is my stuff that I will always prefer over whatever he does now. I feel like now he's less offensive and crazy and more just impressive lyrically, and it's fine. But I don't really love the like speed rap Eminem. I like the wild stuff with the crazy metaphors and I like the 3-4 rhyme scheming things that he's doing, where he's rhyming 4 words in every line and it's like real complicated. I like that. But some of the stuff, it's like he kind of overcomplicates his rap these days. Like, he's so good at rap and rapping, he's kind of perfected the craft of it that he just makes it so complex where you go, if you just slowed down a little bit and gave us just half. Like, with him, I feel like less is more, and he just packs in so much because he can. But he didn't used to pack in so much. I think the drugs kind of mellowed him out, but now that he's clean and sober, he's just like, let me tell you, and it's like, all right, chill, Marshall. Just give me half of that, and I'll enjoy it a little bit more. That's my take on new Eminem. He's just like not, I don't know, he's like too technical now. It's all like technique, and it's impressive technique, but it's like, you're not Twista. You're not Tech 9. I don't listen to Eminem for that. I know he has it, and I like that it's a part of it, but there's other stuff that we like Eminem for. So, that's it. That's my take on it. I like, 2002 Eminem. I like bleach blonde hair Eminem, but he'll never go back to that, and that's fine. He's evolving as an artist. I still enjoy what he's doing now. I like his new song. I think it's good. But, I didn't like that Eminem had Pete Davidson in the video, though. Is Pete Davidson cool now? Are we allowing Pete Davidson in hip-hop? What's the story here? I thought Kanye said no Pete Davidson. If Kanye says no Pete Davidson, even if Pete Davidson isn't with Kanye's ex-wife anymore, I think you got to stay on the no Pete Davidson. I'm still on no Pete Davidson in hip-hop. I don't want to see that guy anywhere near rap music. So I didn't like that he was in the video. I was not so happy about that. That's my only complaint, is that it goes against the Kanye credo, which is no Pete Davidson. Fuck that guy. I don't like Pete Davidson. I'm holding a grudge still. Kanye's probably over it. I'm not over what that guy did. That guy was trash. Any guy that, like, you know, baits the father while he's dating the mother, and he's like tattooing the kids' names on his body, and you're with her for like 6 months, yo, fuck that dude. That is a bitch move. Fuck Pete Davidson. Like, you don't do that. That's some disrespectful shit. And everybody was all at Kanye saying like, "Oh, he's going so hard. This is awful." And I'm like, "Yeah, but he's mad. Like, look, if I wanted to get back together with my ex-wife and this guy was hanging around my kids, he'd been around my ex-wife for like a month and he's hanging around my kids and getting their names tattooed on his body, I'd be kind of pissed too. I wouldn't feel so comfortable with that. That's weird behavior." So I didn't like how the media treated Kanye when he kind of lashed out. And like, yeah, you're not supposed to lash out publicly, but I kind of understood where he was coming from. Like, I felt for him. He was in pain. And I always defend Kanye. I love Kanye so much. So, you know. So, yeah, fuck Pete Davidson. And now, like, they're not together anymore. And it's like, what happened to those tattoos of the kids' names? Pete Davidson, you fucking weirdo. That's weirdo behavior, man. You don't start dating somebody and then get her kids' names tattooed on you, like, after a month or two. Like, that's weird shit. And you don't even last 6 months with the lady? What's up with that? Like, if you got the tattoos a month or two in because you knew, and then you're in it for the long haul and you're with her for like 20 years afterwards, okay, fine. I mean, you know, turned out. But that's not the case, and we all knew that wasn't going to be the case because it's fucking Pete Davidson. Come on now. Fuck that guy. I really don't like him.
I know you don't like this fact, but I believe in just social media culture. I believe because what Tom Brady said, it's okay to make fun of Kanye and the fact that with his kids. Like, I think that became a thing now, sadly.
Well, fuck Tom Brady, too.
I know you don't like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's a bitch.
Because of that thing that he said, like, it kind of made it okay to bash Kanye in a sense.
Nah, fuck Tom Brady. Fuck Boston. I'm a New York Giants fan. Fuck Tom Brady. Tom Brady sucks. Guy's pure jabroni. Patrick Mahomes is way better. Peyton Manning was way better. Peyton Manning was better than him. Everybody knows it. Tom Brady knows it.
Rings.
Doesn't matter about ring. I'm saying if Peyton Manning was on the Patriots and Tom Brady was on the Colts would have been dog shit and the Patriots would have won more even. You know it too. Peyton Manning was better than him. That guy was a fucking monster. That guy was the real deal. Tom Brady just got lucky with the system. Like, he was all right, but fuck that guy. That guy sucks. I don't know shit about football, but I think he sucks. And I think he was probably on steroids too. And his wife left him when she found a real man who does jiu-jitsu. She left him for her jiu-jitsu coach because Tom Brady's a bitch who can't defend himself.
Well, I know.
You know it's true. She's like, fuck you, Tom Brady. I'm going to do jiu-jitsu. Fuck the Tom Brady. They laugh at him. Ha ha, Tom Brady. What a bitch. They're laughing at him on the mats, you know, choking people.
Well, it's going to be fun tomorrow. You're going to talk about all these topics as well. Trump, Tom Brady with AJ. I'm sure AJ has a lot of great opinions about this too. So I look forward to that tomorrow.
I don't like Tom Brady. I don't like Pete Davidson. I don't like those jabronis. I saw that.
AJ's the opposite.
I saw what Tom Brady was saying about Kanye. I didn't like it. I don't like anybody speaking ill of Kanye West. I don't like it. It's not right. You know what these are on my desk? I have them. I haven't even started busting them out yet. You know what these are, John? My Yeezy Pods. You know what those are? Sock shoes. Have I shown these to you?
No, you haven't.
See that at the bottom? It's like a rubbery thing. Yeezy Pods. Sock.
Okay.
Shoes. That's right. I got the pods. They came from Yeezy.com, not Adidas. I support Kanye directly. These are my pods.
Wow.
That's right. They come in a sweet little bag like this. And they're very comfortable. I've tried them on a little bit. I walked around in them, but I haven't like fully worn them yet. I've got other Yeezys to wear, but come on.
They look like they'd be hot to wear.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, there's always Yeezy around. Yeezy slides. There's always Yeezy around here, John. You know me.
No Patriot stuff, that's for sure.
Nope. Yeah, all right. Don't argue with me about football, man. I don't care about football. Antoinette likes Patriots. Jimmy James is saying something about Super Bowls. Like, I don't know. Angela wants to know when your next match is. That's a good question. John, tell me.
June 28th, I'll be back in Sudbury. I'll be on a Friday. So I won't be here for that Wrestling Uncensored episode, sadly. End of June.
June what?
June 28th.
Okay. Sudbury, Ontario. There you go. All right, people are like talking about how great Tom Brady is. All right, he's probably the best quarterback ever, but I still don't like him, so who cares? I don't even watch football like that. I did. I used to watch it more. When Brady was kind of running things with the Patriots and Peyton Manning was playing, like, I watched football way more back then. I was in like sports radio, so I kind of had to. But yeah, I never really liked Tom Brady. I never really liked the Patriots. I liked other teams. I liked the Manning brothers. You know?
Well, Payne was good. It's just, again, because Tom has the ring, so it's a hard thing to debate.
Yeah. Yeah, but championships don't necessarily mean you're a great player. I mean, it's a team sport, right?
They kind of had a dynasty, though, which is very difficult to do in team sports.
Yeah, and he was the centerpiece of the dynasty, obviously. Now, he was very good at football. I mean, clearly. I'm not going to come here and say Tom Brady was bad at football. But, like, as a personality, he's kind of, I don't know. I didn't think he came off that well on that roast. I saw a bit of it, and I was like, ugh. I don't like this guy. He wasn't likable.
I think because he tries too hard. And that's the problem.
Like, he's trying too hard to be like a Hollywood star now, and it's like, ugh. And what's with your face? Why does he look like that?
The way he looks.
Is it the way he looks, or is he doing something to his face to make himself look that way? Because it's a weird look. He looks a little, like he looks like a Guy Smiley from the Muppets, bro. You know Guy Smiley?
It doesn't ring a bell right now, but
I don't know. He just looks like Guy Smiley to me. Try to find you a picture of Guy Smiley. Now that I'm seeing a picture of him, maybe you won't get it. He doesn't really look like him. Just when I see him, I'm like, what are you, Guy Smiley over there? From Sesame Street, this guy. Oops. What the hell just happened?
Wrong. It was the wrong screen.
Wrong. Guy Smiley, bro.
Oh, this guy was on Sesame Street, not the Muppets though.
Well, he is a Muppet though, you know.
He is a Muppet, but not the Muppet. Yeah,
He's technically a Muppet. That's Tom Brady right there. Right there in the suit. That's Tom Brady. Guy Smiley, like he just has a face that looks like it's a puppet face. Tom Brady right there, man. Hey, it's Tom Brady. I played quarterback for the Patriots, and now I got a microphone over here. Guy Smiley. Hey, guys. My wife left me for a jiu-jitsu man because jiu-jitsu is cooler than football, guys. Guy Smiley. Fucking Tom Brady.
Sound like you're trying to do Paulie from Sopranos.
Hey, oh. Not for nothing, T. I'm Tom Brady. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'll be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, with the UFC 302 watch-along. Dustin Poirier taking on Islam Makhachev in the main event. Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa, co-main event. We're going to kick it off 10 p.m. Eastern Time when the pay-per-view starts. The show will start right here on the Ringside Report Network. Myself, Freddie Garcia, and AJ DeLesio, we will be in effect partying with you on a Saturday night for UFC 302 watch-along. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and thank you to the members. Jimmy James, new member, Ray Cruz, Antoinette, Angelo, Leor, all the members over at join.ringsidereport.net and membership.ringsidereport.net. Antoinette, thank you for gifting the membership. Very generous of you tonight. On a Friday, we will see you all tomorrow for more right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time.